Good evening and welcome to the Digital Media Meteorology Lab at the campus of California, University of Pennsylvania. I'm Professor Chad Kauffman in the Department of Earth Sciences, here to give you a bit of an idea of what our big weather stories are going into this week, so our students will have a much more detailed analysis with their forecasts on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week. This evening, our big story is an exiting area of low pressure that has really deepened quite a bit as it rode up the East Coast. I think you can pick it out here. We're looking at the swirl clouds here on the enhanced infrared image just off the coast of New England, affecting Nova Scotia and some of the Canadian Maritimes. A more subtle feature, at least according to the enhanced infrared image here, is another swirling area of low pressure just upstream of western Pennsylvania. So right now we're in between two systems. Clearly, this is Pennsylvania here. We had a bit of a mild set of temperatures today, but change is certainly underway. In fact, the National Weather Service is keenly aware of what's going to be changing the next few days. So if we take a look at a more regional approach and some of the statements issued by the National Weather Service, I'll go ahead and turn on some of those watches, warnings, and advisories as they're listed by county here. If you focus your attention, it's a little hard to see, but with the grays here, these are all winter weather advisories. Some of the blues here along the higher ridgetops of southern West Virginia and parts of the mid-Atlantic here, southeastern counties of Pennsylvania are under a winter storm watch. Primarily that has to do with that large area of low pressure becoming a bit stagnant in its flow regime as it kind of settles off the East Coast here. Another area of low pressure will likely be centralized in through this region as well, helping to enhance the lift and ultimately precipitation through this region. So be aware, please refer to the National Weather Service, weather.gov, to identify some of the individual statements and accumulation amounts for this given region. But what I'd like to show you next are kind of the big picture issues moving forward. Real quickly, just to show you again too, the snow still falling, and it has been relatively intense at times in New England. We see 5 inches and 6.5, almost 7 inches of snow falling in through New England. This is the state of Rhode Island, eastern Massachusetts here. It's still snowing. This is a product from the National Weather Service, so they certainly have some contentious snowfall issues to deal with as well. This is a GFS prognostication looking at Saturday at the end of the week here. This shows you temperature at 500 millibars, roughly about 5,500 meters in the atmosphere, and its relative anomaly. In other words, is it higher or lower than it is compared to a long-term average? And what that tells us is if we can identify height by temperature, gives us an idea of the relative flow regime. So with a big ridge in the west here, the upper level winds flow up and over this ridge and then down into a deep trough along the East Coast here. This is for Saturday, so I think you can understand if it looks very similar to what I showed you earlier. The cold looks to be entrenched most of this week, and really by Saturday looks to be our coldest day. We can look at some of the details there. If I show you another set of solutions here, this is the European model forecast. It's a deterministic run showing you precise operational values throughout the course of the week. So this is today's temperatures, and you can see the trend as we head towards Saturday. This inflection point here where we bottom out is February 14th. And so that is some pretty cold temperatures if we look at temperatures here for maximum with the fuchsia and black with the minimum. We're hovering around single digits with the low and only really getting into the teens here on Saturday, the middle part of the weekend. The other trend to look here is the accumulated precipitation amounts. We see little bouts of precipitation throughout Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Certainly not a lot of precipitation. We're only talking less than, in most cases, less than half an inch of liquid equivalent. So mainly it's an accumulation of a lot of nuisance snows over and over this week that will give us kind of our weather challenges and the impacts. This is a different product. This is the European set of solutions. This is a set of ensemble members plotted together. It kind of looks like a box and whiskers plot. So we have the deterministic run in black. We have the mean in green. Not a lot of variation with the max up here and the min in this lower graph. But the bounds thereof shows us kind of all the set of possible solutions of the entire suite of the ensemble. So we're really confident that we'll step down throughout the course of the week and really bottom out in the weekend. But there's some variation as to precisely how far the temperatures drop into the weekends, hence the upper and lower bounds of this particular product. So it will definitely get cold. We have a little bit of uncertainty as to how cold exactly. The greater uncertainty is when we jump out of that cold snap. There's a lot of variation here. The mean becomes a lot more separated from the deterministic run, and the bounds of these solutions really expands quite a bit. So the timing of when the cold ends and how warm it will rebound is of something we'll have to follow later in the week, but definitely the trend here is toward a cooler and really cold weekend. These are some just precise numbers, looking at a blend of the National Weather Service's products from some of their models and solutions they come up with, and then plot geographically. So the core of the cold here is the upper Midwest. This shows us this is for Saturday into Sunday. So if you focus on the legend here, we're down into some of these upper teens and in some cases single digits in the upper Midwest here. Some more precise numbers, again, still a number of days out. Again, we still have some slight uncertainty as to what these values will be, but it looks like Western Pennsylvania has highs on Saturday in the teens. So definitely some really cold temperatures. In the near term, Tuesday into Wednesday, flurries, some accumulating precipitation, hence the National Weather Service's winter weather advisory. But temperatures Tuesday and Wednesday are below normal. So please pay attention and follow our students this week in their weather forecasts on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, culminating with Damon Matson's CUTV broadcast this Thursday. Thanks for watching.